Sue from Easy Fit in 10, and this is a 10-minute Pilates-based core practice. We're going to start laying down on our backs. And I just want you to begin by placing your hands right on your lower belly. And we're going to work on what we call pelvic placement. So right now, I want you to find that spot where you have a little curl or a little curve in your lower back. And you feel some heaviness in your tailbone. Hands are resting right on that lower belly. You're going to take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. When you inhale, I want you to try and breathe down into that lower belly so that your hands rise up. And as you exhale, your hands draw down as the lower belly pulls in. Try that a few times. In Pilates, we do slightly forced exhalations through pursed lips, like we're blowing out a straw. That helps engage the deep muscles of our abdominals. Now let's try and get a little bit of movement going on down in the pelvis. So inhale to prepare. Then as you exhale, you're drawing your belly down towards the floor and tilting your tailbone towards your heels, and your pelvic bone is tilting up towards the sky. Then as you inhale, you're going to go back to that neutral spine, little curve in your lower back. Exhale, tailbone pulls down and away, pelvic bone tilts up. Inhale, rolling back to neutral. Let's keep doing that a few times. Exhale, we call this imprint because you're imprinting your spine into the floor. And then back to neutral, where you have that natural curve in the lower back. When you come into imprint, you should feel each one of those vertebrae touching the ground with equal weight. Then when you come back to neutral, your tailbone and the back of your ribs feel heavier on the floor. Let's do that 2 more times. 1 more, and we're going to come into that imprint and we're going to stay. Let your hands rest right next to your hips. Now taking it into a march. Breath in to prepare. Exhale, right leg lifts. Inhale, lower. Exhale, left leg lifts. Inhale, lower. So right now we're working on keeping the abdominal muscles pulled in so that our pelvis and our spine stay stable, and we're maintaining that slight imprint. In the beginning, we often start in what we call that imprinted spine to help us learn how to stabilize. And then as we get stronger, we work towards being able to do this movement in neutral spine with that little curve in your lower back, because that's a little more natural. Let's get 1 more. And let the feet release down. Now walk your feet a little closer in towards your butt, and then let the hips roll back into that neutral spine. Take a breath in to prepare. Then as we exhale, we're going to go into imprint and then keep going, tucking our tail and curling our hips up into a bridge. Inhale, stay in your bridge. Then as you exhale, rolling down through the spine. Pull your abs in down towards the floor and try and lower each vertebrae one by one, all the way back out to neutral spine, taking a breath in. Exhale, pulling up through that low core, tucking the tail, scooping and curling up. Inhale, stay. Exhale, and rolling down. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, tuck. We talk about scooping the lower belly like you're pulling it up. So in Pilates, we'll talk a lot about kind of different bony landmarks. And we talk a lot about the pelvic bone and the tailbone. So when we're doing that hip roll up, we start with that heaviness in the tailbone, neutral spine. Then the abs draw in, ribs knit together, tuck, scoop, curling up. Pelvic bone curling up towards the ribs. And then on the way down, your breastbone and the back of those ribs are reaching towards the mat. And your hips and your tailbone are the last to touch. All right, go ahead and relax for a sec. Take a nice breath. And let's come back into that little bit of that imprint, belly belly button to spine, and we're gonna progress our marching. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhaling, right leg up, left leg up. Inhale, right leg down, left leg down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale. We're going to do that 2 more times. And again, my number 1 job is keeping those abdominals drawn in. And the number 2 job is maintaining that imprint. Now do the same move, just reversing it. Left leg leads. Breath in, prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So when we're starting Pilates, we often start with work where we're stabilizing the pelvis and stabilizing the spine. And this helps release those over tight muscles of our lower back and our hip flexors, because we start waking up some of those other muscles and get them to start doing their job. Let's do 1 more here. And lower back down. And we're going to go back into another bridge. So feet are hip distance apart, toes are facing straight ahead. And we're going to roll up again. So find that neutral spine, breath in, prepare. Exhale, scoop, curl, tuck, peel up. And then this time we're going to inhale as we roll down. So our first hip roll up was in 4 parts. Exhale to curl up, inhale, hold, exhale to roll down, inhale, neutral spine. This time, we're just going a little bit faster. Exhaling to curl up to help engage the abdominals and get the abdominals to do their job of moving the spine. Because that's really what they're supposed to do. They're designed to flex the spine. That's one of their jobs. They got lots of jobs. And then rolling down. It's hard to engage your abdominals when you're inhale. At least I think so. Let's do 1 more. So it's something we work on. And rolling back down, bone by bone. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and progress those marches again and bring our legs up into what we call tabletop. And again, we're belly to spine, hips to ribs, ribs knitting together, holding onto that imprint, and now an alternating toe tap. So as we inhale, take the right foot to the floor, exhale and lift. Inhale, left foot, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, pull the abdominals in to bring that knee back up over the hip. So we're learning how to get the right muscle to turn on and do its job. It's a lot of mind-muscle connection, a lot of mind-body. So that's where the breath really helps us out. So when we inhale, we're lengthening that hip flexor muscle. Exhale, we're contracting it. Same thing with the abdominals. We're exhaling and contracting to pull that knee back in over the hip. Last one, and we'll let our feet rest down. Woo! Okay, we're gonna take it to another bridge. We're gonna walk those feet out into a wide Pilates V position. I'm on my mat, so I've got my heels on the mat, but my toes are off the mat, and my toes and knees are opening out towards the corners, 45-degree angle. We'll take it back into that hip roll up, find that neutral spine again, breath in, exhale, pull up through that low core, tuck your tail, peeling up, and then inhaling and rolling back down. So we're doing a bunch of these, and hopefully as we go through our mini practice, we start feeling those muscles of the lower back begin to loosen up and lengthen. That's what we're going for. Those lower back muscles, we need them to move a little bit. And when we sit too much, they get stuck. So we're bringing some circulation into those muscles and strengthening the opposing muscles so that the lower back muscles get the cue to let go and release. Now this time, we're gonna come up into that bridge, tuck, scoop, curl up, and give me 10 little pulses up with your hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna roll down bone by bone. And we've got one more progression for our march. Okay, we're gonna pick those legs back up, and this time in our tabletop. Inner thighs and our heels and toes are pressing into each other. Belly button to spine, find your imprint. Inhale, legs are gonna lower towards the ground, and then exhale and pull those knees right back over your hips. Now, I want you to watch your range of motion. Only go to that point where you're able to maintain your imprint. So that might be feet going halfway towards the floor. That's okay. What I want you to avoid is your back popping off and those ribs popping out. So let's reestablish that connection. Belly to spine, ribs knit together. Inhale, feet lower. Keep paying attention to that connection. Exhale and pull back up. Let's get a couple more. Squeezing your inner thighs together to help activate that low core. Last 2. One more time. And let your legs release. Whew. A little bit of work right through those quadriceps. Just holding our legs up. Okay, we're gonna do one more set of bridges. We're gonna go back to that hip distance apart position. And this set, we're gonna tuck, scoop, curl up, and give me 3 pulses up. 3, 2, 1, big breath in. Exhale, roll down. So we're getting a little more work through those glutes. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhaling, curling up. 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. And roll back down. Inhale. Exhale, low core zips up. Belly to spine. Glutes hug together. Pulsing up. 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Exhale. Sternum to spine. Spine to the floor. Inhale, neutral spine, tailbone heavy into the mat. Exhale, back into imprint. Curl up and pulse. 3, 2, 1. And exhale and roll back down. Good. Now we're going to take it into a hip release. So all I want you to do is take that leg and you're going to slide your foot out and slide your foot right back in. And then take it to the other leg. Slide out and slide back in. These are called heel slides, and it's a passive release for the hip flexor. So what we did is we activated the stabilizers of our deep abdominal muscles, the muscles that hold the spine in place. So we did all that stabilization work with our different marching exercises. And plus with the marching, we started to work on releasing the hip flexor. And then we activated the glutes to help draw the pelvis down so that the back side of our pelvis is going to start pulling down towards the heels, and the front side of our pelvis starts pulling up towards the ribs. This helps bring the pelvis back into neutral spine, which is good because then the lower back muscles get a chance to release. And you might have felt a stretch back there when we were doing those hip roll-ups. Very common. Let's get one more heel slide. And then just go ahead and take a few nice deep breaths in and out.